I'm sure, you know what?
Come?
Man, this, in some way, this must
Il
be the
grado tra
way.
il secondo e il terzo grado.
Centuries ago, cats learned to improvise. They had to have certain. You had to have something.
Sorry Barry, I missed the last.
I said you have to have something to know how to improvise.
Dobbiamo avere qualche elemento per
So
poter
you
improvvisare.
got to find some kind of system.
Dobbiamo trovare un
Whatever
sistema.
system they had, Bach and them had, got lost.
Il sistema che avevano
Because they
Bach,
sure don't teach that. Now they teach
il
us
sistema che aveva
jazz,
Bach così.
They
È
teach
stato
you some
perduto,
kind
non ti viene insegnato.
jazz theory. That's the biggest dud of the year. A jazz theory.
Adesso cosa ti insegnano la teoria jazz?
Now that means I got to know about the Dorian, the
Significa che devi conoscere i
the
modi,
Lydian.
Dorian.
Look here, let me tell you. Never in my life.
Lui mai nella sua vita.
I was a teenager.
Lui è stato teenager.
I never heard of anything
Non
about
ha mai
Dorian,
sentito parlare di tutto ciò.
or Mixolydian, or Lydian, or
Mai
Phrygian.
sentito parlare di questo.
I ain't heard nothing, but I learned how to play jazz.
Però ha imparato a suonare il jazz.
So now why they come up with that nonsense? The reason they came up with that is because they suddenly said, oh, we can make some money off this.
La ragione per cui sono uscite
So
fuori
what
queste
they
cose
do-
per
so they had to
ragioni
say-
di business.
Yeah, but if we're gonna make money off it, we got to have something to show. We got to. What we gonna teach them? Oh,
E quindi
well,
sarà, ha
we'll teach
dovuto
it- we'll teach it.
escogitare
Well,
qualcosa da
we
insegnare.
can teach them the modes. So everybody know about. I know all of you know about the Dorian and the mix of the. I know nothing about that nonsense. I ain't
Non ne
never
sa
heard
nulla
of it
di
in
tutto
my
ciò.
life.
Mai sentito?
So the modal jazz, what do you think about it?
Nothing.
Nothing.
What you gonna think when the cat done come up with one chord?
Pensa che questo su un accordo solo.
What now? What the hell is going? What that going? What is that going to teach? Man, don't you know most of the standards were written by
La
Italian,
maggior parte
Europeans,
degli standard sono stati
Russians,
italiani, russi, compositori
Europeans.
europei.
That's why the standards are. You very seldom find a standard that isn't correct.
È molto difficile trovare uno standard che non sia
All standards,
correttamente, che non sia
most
armonico
standards are
correttamente.
correct.
La maggior parte degli standard
There's no phony shit
hanno un
with the
significato
standards.
armonico, non ci sono robe a caso.
That's because those cats who came from here had been versed in theory. So they brought this over they brought it to the USA, and a lot of them wrote these songs, you know. And so these songs, we don't even hear those songs now. You ain't never heard. When the last time you heard Auburn in New York or Stella by Starlight on the radio?
Quando è che avete
No,
sentito
you might hear
Stella o
on that
o
one
New
little
York per
jazz
radio?
station. But you aren't gonna see it on television. That's for sure.
Non lo senti per TV, quello di
There's
sicuro.
about 2 stars I can think of who go on television at prime time. Tony Bennett and that girl that played Diana Crow, whatever her
Ce
name
ne
is.
sono due.
That she can go on prime time. Nobody else. They didn't even have Oscar Peterson. And Oscar Peterson is supposed to, he's like the refrigerator to me in everybody's house. Everybody almost had an Oscar
La
Peterson.
maggior parte ce l'ha Oscar Peterson in casa. mi dispiace.
Everybody got a refrigerator. Everybody got Oscar Peterson.
Tutti quanti hanno il frigo, tutti quanti hanno Oscar Peterson.
You know, but they wouldn't even have Oscar Peterson. If you could have seen
Se voi aveste potuto vedere
how Oscar Peterson received a Grammy,
how Oscar Peterson received,
if you could have seen that.
come lui ha ricevuto un reward,
See,
un premio.
when Oscar Peterson received this Grammy, Hank Jones and myself all three received
Quando
Grammys.
Oscar Peterson ha ricevuto il suo premio c'era assieme a lui anche Barry e Hank Jones.
They didn't have us on the big Grammy show.
Ma però loro due, Hank Jones e Barry, non erano nel show
You know what they put
televisivo.
us on? They put us in a little theater
Li ha messi in un piccolo
in Los
teatrino
Angeles.
in Los Angeles.
And before the affair,
E prima
somebody
dell'affare,
drove me by the theater. I want to see the theater where we're going to be. On the marquee, it said, boxing every Thursday. Now, you can imagine what kind of theater this must be. Boxing every
Boxing, 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 what do you mean by
Now,
boxing?
Boxing, you know.
Boxing.
Oh,
Boxer.
praticamente c'era scritto che tutti i giovedì c'era l'incontro di
So I
box.
said, okay. So we get to the theater early, Hank Jones and I.
Quindi lui e Hank Jones sono arrivati lì
We brought our
presto.
tuxedos because we knew we were going to have dressing
Hanno
room.
portato, sai, il completo, no?
They saw us with tuxedos.
Smoking,
you know,
scusami.
come to get dressed and stuff, they say, well, one of you can get dressed in the men's room, the other can get dressed in the women's room.
E praticamente uno ha detto, uno può andare a vestirsi lì e l'altro là nel
And
reparto
then
donne.
here,
C'è nello spogliatoio delle donne,
Just
scusa.
left right there. You should've just said,
Oh,
yo,
yeah,
yo, keep
really.
it. I mean, you can melt it down.
but you know, Barry Gordy had planned this party for us and everything, so I said, nah.
The party was okay.
Oh, the party was okay.
Il party era
Barry
ok.
Gordy took care of that. And he had money, he could take care of that properly. But and then he said it between me and Hank Jones, he said right in between us.
E a loro due, a lui e Dan Jones,
Because he's Detroit too, you know.
è un ragazzo di un signore di
Now,
Detroit.
what they did, this was the ugliest theater you ever, and they were supposed to be having little hors d'oeuvres and stuff at the beginning. That was so corny, man, you wouldn't have believed it. From the Grammys. But now when they got through and put up the big sign there and
Quando
turn
hanno
out the
messo
lights,
quando hanno acceso le luci,
everything looks luxurious, you
tutto
know.
quanto era...
And they rolled out the red carpet because Oscar Peterson could hardly walk. He was in a wheelchair.
Ho capito, sono in sedia a rotelle.
So here he come. They roll him in on the red carpet.
È arrivato col tappeto rosso.
I thought to myself, I said, now you know that's a disgrace because he was the most famous pianist, really, and he sure shouldn't have been on in that little jive theater. He should have been with the big Grammys. They put Ornette Coleman with the big Grammys. But they wouldn't even put Oscar Peterson. Now, Ornette Coleman ain't more important than
Nemmeno
Oscar
Oscar
Peterson.
Peterson hanno messo. Così, how do you mean the big Grammy?
No, the big Grammys is televised, man.
There was like a
And,
pre-Grammy show.
and then sometime they would say something about the jazz thing. They didn't even say nothing about us. Nothing. We were nothing. And so it was you know, disgraceful.
Which
You know.
year was this?
A couple of years ago. What year was that?
2006.
Huh?
2006.
2006.
Okay.
That's really true. You know, and it's just, you won't believe it. So jazz is like, but anyway, what I was saying about,
Comunque,
we're supposed to know things.
noi dobbiamo sapere le cose.
So I know that Bach and them knew things. So we got to know something.
Bach e loro
So
conoscevano e noi
so
dobbiamo
when I was
sapere.
young, when I was very young,
Lui era molto
I
giovane.
made up some rules. Just make me be able to stay straight.
Si è composto delle regole per